Tap, tap, cola, what a beautiful drink. Tap, tap, cola, beautiful people. Tap, tap, cola, beautiful to me. 16 ounces have just 1 calorie. Tap, tap, cola, what a beautiful drink. Tap, tap, cola, beautiful people. Tap, tap, cola, it's beautiful to be. Tasting so darn good and sugar-free.
Watch Different Strokes, Friday night at 7 on NBC 11. On the air at the fair, highlights of the 1979 Minnesota State Fair, brought to you by the American Dairy Association of Minnesota, who reminds you that fair time, anytime, milk's the one. And by Mama Vitale's Venetian Inn, where the food and service are just plain good. And by Bodine's Keyboard Centers, the world's finest in pianos and organs. And by Central States Waterproofing, the Midwest #1 basement waterproofer. By Kid Power, it's a Kid Power world. By Rudy Peterson Fireplaces, offering all brick fireplaces as low as $19.95. And by True Value Hardware Stores. More than just a name, it's our way of doing business. You're at the Fair 79 with Mel Jazz, Nancy Nelson, and Warren Martin.
Yes, here we are at the Minnesota State Fair. And I tell you, it's such a gorgeous day. Somebody said it's a little warm. I said, boy, it's better than 30 below in a blizzard. And everybody agreed with me. Look at these people.
We would like to all of our audience out here. Hello!
I want to present the lovely Nancy Nelson.
Hello,
and,
how are you today?
Handsome
Welcome to
Warren
the fair.
Martin. And we're going to put on a show. So you stay right here with Channel 11.
Thank you, Mel. It's great to see you out here today, partner, and it's lovely, Miss Nancy Nelson. How are you today, Ann?
I'm so good, and it's a beautiful day at the Minnesota State Fair. A little warm, but there's a breeze, as they can see, and we're going to have more fun today. If you want to know what's going on at the fair, and obviously you're at home watching television, sit down for the next hour and a half and join us.
Among other things, we not only have our live coverage, which occurs right out here, but we also have lots of videotape that we've been producing earlier in the day to give you an idea of some of the things that transpire, in some cases, sort of behind the scenes. So we'll present all of that to you. And among other things, there's a group that's kind of near and dear to our hearts, Nancy. This takes us back to the golden age, doesn't it?
Yeah, really to the golden age. I mean, I don't know if I want to admit how old I am or not today.
No, you don't.
Okay, I'll just let you do the fine introduction.
But we do have music from the 1950s, and it's really making a great revival right now. Would you give a Minnesota State Fair welcome to Teen King and the Princess?
There they are! Yay!
Oh boy, when you're with me, oh boy, all the world could see that you were meant for me. All my life I've been waiting, tonight there'll be no hesitating, oh boy, when you're with me, oh boy, all the world could see that you were meant for me. Stars appear and the shadows are falling. You can hear my heart calling. A little bit of love makes everything right. I'm gonna see my baby tonight. All of my love, all my kisses. You don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, all the world can see that you were meant for me. Dum diddly dum dum, oh boy. Dum diddly dum dum, oh boy. Dum diddly dum dum, oh boy. All my love, all my kisses, you don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, all the world can see that you were meant for me. All my life I've been waiting, tonight there'll be no hesitating, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, all the world can see that you were meant for me. Stars appear and the shadows are falling, so you can hear my heart calling. A little bit of love makes everything right. I'm gonna see my baby tonight. All of my love, all my kisses. You don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. When you're with me, oh boy, all the world can see that you were meant for me. Oh boy. The little things that you say and do make me want to be with you. Rave on, it's a crazy feeling, and I know it's got me reeling when you say I love you. Rave on. The way you dance and hold me tight, the way you kiss and say goodnight. Rave on, it's a crazy feeling, and I know it's got me reeling when you say I love you. Rave on. Oh, well, rave on, it's a crazy feeling, and I know it's got me reeling. I'm so glad that you're revealing your love for me. Rave on and tell me, not to be lonely, tell me, you love me only, rave only me. Oh, well, a rave on, it's a crazy feeling, and I know it's got me reeling. I'm so glad that you're revealing your love for me. Rave on, tell me, not to be lonely, tell me, I only rave only me. The little things that you say and do make me want to be with you. Rave on, it's a crazy feeling, and I know it's got me reeling when you say I love you. Rave on. Oh, well, rave on, it's a crazy feeling, and I know I'm so glad that you're revealing your love for me. Rave on, and tell me, not to be lonely, tell me, you love me only, rave only me. Rave on, rave on, rave on.
Thank you very much.
Thank
We'll have more
you
music
very
from them
much.
coming up later. In just a moment, we're going to have a chance to come out and visit with some of you in our audience as we're at the Fair 79.
Now it's a break with a special friend, a
What's your
talking
favorite
fish.
ride?
My favorite what?
Ride. You've been at the
Ride.
fair all week, you haven't been on a ride?
Well, I went out looking around last night, and there was one that was kind of nice. Had lots of water in it and a big paddle wheel that kept the water moving. I don't know what they call that, though.
What's evening wear for a trout?
Evening wear?
Yeah, what would a trout like you wear out on the
Well,
fairgrounds at
I
night looking for a
normally-
ride?
Well, I normally wear about the same thing. Kind of a nice dark-colored coat with spots. I don't...
Right now, during Rinse and Vax Carpet Cleaning Month, you can save some cash and save your carpets. We have very low rental rates to help you save now. And when you rent now, we'll send you this coupon, good for a free Rinse and Vac rental later, the next time you steam clean your carpets. So save some cash and save your carpets. Now, when you do it yourself with Rinse and Vac, straighten your tie.
Available at participating True Value hardware stores.
I'm taking someone special out tonight. We're going where I know they'll treat her right. We'll laugh, we'll talk, we'll have some fun. Just me and my very special one.
Hey, Grandma. Don't stay out too late.
We're going somewhere special. We're going somewhere special. We like Perkins.
Make a good thing better, cheese it up. With a snack or sandwich, you can tease it up. In a salad bowl, on a casserole. Cheese can make it better, why not cheese it up?
And try cheddar on a hamburger, Swiss with turkey, American on a BLT, or Monterey Jack, Colby, or your favorite. Any sandwich tastes better with cheese.
Everything tastes so much better when you cheese it up.
American Dairy Association.
Hi, I'm Hank Meadows, and this is the famous Venetian Inn, where Mama Vitale and the Vitale family have been serving outstanding Italian food for 50 years in the home of Hank's favorite, the dinner alla Siciliano. The Venetian Inn has been completely redecorated, and the beauty of the rooms just complement the quality of the dining. There's top entertainment in the theater lounge nightly, and banquet facilities for groups of 20 to 400. If you want a great dining experience, it's better than ever at the Venetian Inn.
Spreading oak, but underneath some kind of a tree, the village smithy stands. And we have him right here on our show today at the Minnesota State Fair. His name is Joe DeLaurent. Would you welcome Mr. Joe DeLaurent, please? Let's hear it. Okay. He is the blacksmith who regularly is exercising himself and turning out incredible craftsmanship over at the Heritage Square Complex. It's a pleasure to see you again this year, Joe.
Thank you. It's good to be back.
Of course, blacksmithing is, if you will, a lost art. It's not the sort of thing we see done a great deal these days.
Right. It's starting to make a comeback, but it's for a while it was almost a lost art. Right.
As I understand it, Warren, we have a videotape that we're going to take a look at as we continue to talk to Joe, seeing you do some of your work up there.
Right.
How hot does your forge become when you're ready to really start in full swing?
Down in the fire pit itself, it's running between 3,000 and 4,000 degrees, so it doesn't take long to heat the metal up.
And what kind of fuel are you using?
It's blacksmithing coal or coking coal, they call it.
And the reason it gets so hot, of course, is the forced air?
Right.
Joe, of course, blacksmithing used to be, if you will, absolutely essential for things like even the nails that pounded things together. Is that right?
Right. Years ago, everything that we buy in the hardware store now was made over the forge and the anvil. And
of course, today, the things that you make are less practical and often more ornamental, although even some of the things like fireplace objects and things like that are very useful.
Right. There's been a lot of my work is with fireplace, poker sets, andirons, this type of thing, because everybody's going back to the wood burners.
It is sort of not only interesting to watch you in action, because it's the kind of thing we just don't see anymore in real life, but it's also a unique opportunity for people to purchase fine craftsmanship items. Most of the work you do is for sale, isn't it?
Right, everything is.
You have a multitude of things. Well, let's take a typical fireplace set. What is the value of it?
Fireplace sets run anywhere from $50 to $100, depending on what the design is for the head.
How long does it take you to turn a piece of square steel, or what, sort of rod, a square rod, in essence, into a finished product? How long is a typical project?
Fireplace set, you can be looking at anywhere from 5 to 8 hours, depending on mainly what kind of day you're having.
I can't, when you talk about what kind of a day, I mean, it's what, 85 degrees out here today. It's warm for everybody at the fair. How can you possibly manage that kind of work?
I guess you get used to it, or you pretend you're used to it.
Can I ask you something else that's going to sound so tacky you're going to hate it? I mean, you're coal from one end to the other, right? I mean, there's this kind of black soot all over you. Is it possible to get that off when you work with it so constantly?
It never seems to come out of my hands, but the rest of it does come off.
You have to get used to being black and sooty if you're going to do your job.
Right. It's not what you call a white-collar job.
How long can you work on one piece of iron before it's too cool?
Usually it depends on the steel and how hot you've got it to begin with, but it cools very quickly once you're out of the fire.
I called it iron and you called it steel. Which is more accurate?
Well, what I'm working with is steel.
Okay.
And we want people to stop up to Heritage Square and see you. Joe DeLaurent is indeed the blacksmith up there. Most interesting demonstration. Stay cool. Nice to see you again.
Thanks.
Joe, pleasure to have you back with us here. Thank you.
Are we taking a commercial, Dave? We are.
And we have much more ahead for you at the Fair 79.
Hi, I'm Bill Lone with Central States Waterproofing. Are you fed up with your wet basement? Do you worry every time it rains? Or maybe you've always wanted to fix up your basement, a spare bedroom, that family room you've always wanted but can't because the walls or floor are wet. Well, there's someone you can trust to help you with that problem. Central States Waterproofing is the Midwest's #1 basement waterproofing company. Call them today for a free basement inspection. government bulletins, and do-it-yourself hints. And let's help each other.
Your gas pump is telling you what the energy experts are telling you. Today, every spoonful of gas has to count, but that doesn't condemn you to a teaspoon-sized car. Your Metroland Oldsmobile dealers offer you the Economobile, the Olds V6 Cutlass, 19 miles per gallon EPA, highest EPA of any full-sized car anywhere. Get full-sized comfort and handling from every last spoonful of gas. Order the Metroland Economobile from any of your 5 Metroland Olds dealers today.
Get set. Pom-pom. Pom-pom. Yes. Power. Mindy. Mindy. Yes. Power. Quick trap. Quick trap. Yes. Power. Ignore the sword that has. Yes. Power.
Greetings from Bodine's Keyboard Centers. Hi, I'm Crane Bodine here with the new Yamaha organs for the 80s, and I've got great news for you if you've always wanted to own an organ. This new Yamaha organ with electronics of the 80s has piano, guitar, strings, flutes, 8 rhythms, 2 keyboards, sustain, autoplay, and bass. And the price? A sensational $888. That's right, $888 with Metro delivery, bench, and lessons. It's an introductory price, so hurry into Bodine's.
Get into music at Bodine.
We're back at the Fair 79. We're having a good time right here outside the Dairy Building.
It is a magnificent day out here. Hundreds of thousands of people once again, and quite a few of them are enjoying the music that we have here as we're at the fair with WTCN television just outside the Dairy Building. We're very happy to present to you the group once again, Teen King and the Princess, this time with a Hank Williams tune. Nancy?
Somebody out here will be able to tell us by the time the song is over, when did Hank Williams die? Because, of course, he's such a legend. Right now, we want to hear some of the music of Hank Williams from Teen King and the Princess.
Hey, good looking!
I said, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? Now how's about cooking something up with me? I said, hey, sweet baby, don't you think maybe we could find us a brand new recipe? We got a hot rod, a Ford, and a $2 bill, and I know a place right over the hill where they serve soda pop, dancing is free. You want to have fun, then come along with me. Said, hey, sweet baby, now don't you think that maybe we could keep ourselves on steady company? Throw my dig book right over the fence, and then I buy my 1 for 5 or 10 cents. Gonna keep it till it's worn with day. I'm writing your name down on every page. Hey, a good looking, what you got cooking? Now how's about cooking something up with me? I said, hey, sweet baby, don't you think maybe we could find us a brand new recipe? Got a hot rod, a Ford, and a $2 bill, and I know a place right over the hill where they serve soda pop and dancing is free. You want to have fun, then come along with me. Said, hey, sweet baby, now don't you think that maybe we could keep ourselves on steady company? Why don't we keep ourselves on steady company?
Teen King and the Princess. We have much more ahead for you as we're at the Fair 79, and that includes a look at sort of yesterday. And just a moment ago, we talked with the Blacksmith. Right now, we're going to visit with a family that are sort of next door neighbors of the Blacksmith. This is Mrs. Raffel. Hi, how you doing?
Very good, thank you.
Oh, it's nice to see you back here again.
Thank you.
Let's see. We have next to you, Nancy. Let
Is
me
this
step
Debbie?
over here.
Robin. Robin. Oh, I would blow it, wouldn't I? And this is Daddy Bob. Come on over here, Bob. Why don't you all have a chair and sit down? If the folks haven't been up to Heritage Square, as Warren said, we've already talked about it. One of the very interesting things up there is this family, and indeed you, in effect, live in Heritage Square to give people an idea of what life might have been like way back when.
That's true. We live in the late 1800s, and we do crafts from the late 1800s, and we have machinery from the late 1800s, and just about everything in the early 1800s we do. My wife cooks, and we grind feed using horses, and we saw wood using old engines, and I'm sure it'd be interesting for anybody to come up and see it. It's really be interesting.
I stopped by on Wednesday afternoon to say hi to you, and everybody was so busy, I just found out what it was you were doing. You were literally living the day-to-day routine. What was happening?
Oh, I was baking pies. We made 6 apple pies and 2 lemon pies and all kinds of good food.
You don't do laundry out here at the fair, though?
Yes, we do. Robin was doing laundry. She did it 2 days, sure, with my homemade soap.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, now you even said, see, it occurs to me that I am so glad I live today and not then. I mean, if you wanted to wash your hands, first you had to make the bar of soap. Doing this and living this up there, Robin, does it give you a feeling of respect for that time, or just relief that you didn't actually live through it for a lifetime?
Oh, no, I wouldn't mind going back there at all.
It's kidding, with all the work?
No, it's good work is good for you. People who don't like to work shouldn't go back there, but it's good for you, I think.
Nancy, indeed, the entire family is in there. We have a shot just a moment ago of your granddaughter.
Yeah, my little sweetheart.
How's she?
Her name is Jenny.
How's she weathering the fair out here on days like this?
She just loved it, but today they went home yesterday. She was here all week.
Bob, who's doing the roping now?
That's my oldest son, Jamie.
That's our oldest son, and they play with ropes all day. This is John, who's doing some wood carving on the Schnitzelbank, which is unfamiliar to people up here.
Yeah, what is a Schnitzelbank?
It's a German wood carver's bench, really. That's a German name for it, though. Yeah, it's mentioned in the song Old Tannenbaum. Schnitzelbank is mentioned in there, but it's a wood carving bench.
What happens, this seems an odd question in a sense, because of course we're talking about how you exist right here at the fair, but what happens the rest of the year? What is your lifestyle like then?
It's the same as everybody else's.
Is this exciting for you to do this?
Oh yes, I love it. We all do. The whole family looks forward all year to coming to this fair.
Among other things, you make some incredibly fine candy over there.
Oh, did you taste that sorghum candy last year?
Yes.
What? Tell us about it. What kind of candy?
Sorghum candy. It's made from the skim of the sorghum. It's like a toffee. And we made it last year, but we don't have any sorghum this year.
The horse is now, is the horse grinding the corn? Is that what we're seeing?
Yeah.
Yeah, the horse is grinding the corn. This is a 4-horse tally-ho, which is about 1860. And he turns around it's about 20 to 1 revolutions, and it runs a feed mill. So every time he walks around, we get 20 revolutions on the shaft, which in turn runs a feed mill, which gives us the ground corn, which you see there. It's going through the mill right there. This is a really interesting thing. We also can saw wood and do quite a few other things with this horse.
If the name of that horse cracking corn is Jimmy, I quit, I'll tell you that.
No, his name is Trigger, and...
Trigger got corn, and I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
That's bad.
You can ignore Warren if you would like to, but I just keep going back to the same thing. It seems amazing to me that people lived like this, and obviously you have a special feeling for the people, the time, and their lifestyle, don't you?
That's true, yeah. Well, we really enjoy it a lot going back. I'm an electrician, and gets you far removed from the everyday duties, going back, 100 years. And we really enjoy it a lot. Like I said, the whole family does, too, and they all get deeply into it. We have a high-wheel bike up there that we ride around a little bit. And
the goat that drives around.
Goat that drives around
Yeah.
the park, and there's many, too many to mention that I can think of offhand. We shoot some black powder rifles and things like that. So you could spend all afternoon up there watching us if you'd like.
In Heritage Square, you have a very high visibility, and people come by and ask questions and visit and just stop to chat. Are there some questions that they most frequently ask you?
Well, this year it was, is the baby real? And everybody'd like to get invited to dinner, and we really wish we could, but we can't.
What's going to be on the menu for this evening? Do you know yet?
Yeah, we're having stew this evening. It's already on. and corn. And
Robin, how did you wash clothes with homemade soap and on what, a washboard?
No, we have 2 barrels sitting there, and I've got the old wringer, and I just scrub through that way and wring it through.
Well, I'd rather watch you guys do it and do it so well than have lived through it. It's an interesting visit to the past in Heritage Square. Thank you.
From the Raffel family, it's always a pleasure to welcome you and have you back here at the Minnesota State Fair.
Yeah. And we'll be back at the Fair 79.
Beauty, warmth, and economy with a wood-burning fireplace from Rudy Peterson, the fastest growing firm around for new or older homes. And the cost only $19.95 for the average installation with 7 years to pay. So get in on it with these heat-saving fireplaces. Includes an all-brick outside chimney as well. Call for a survey, 227-0683.
What's that?
An entire city in space.
This space reserved for Bond. James Bond and the treacherous Dr. Goodhead. Despite your efforts, my dream approaches its fulfillment. Where all the other Bonds end, Moonraker begins. Roger Moore is James Bond, 007, in Ian Fleming's Moonraker. Rated PG.
Now showing at a theater or drive-in near you. Check newspapers.
Get ready. Red Lobster's building a seafood lover's dream. Starting with broiled lobster, deep sea scallops, shrimp, fillet of fish, and deviled crab. That's right, all on one plate. Red Lobster's broiled fisherman's platter. It's not a dream. You seafood lover, you. Oh, wait till you taste it.
Red Lobster for the seafood lover in you.
Let it rain. You're wearing one mascara that won't run. Revlon's Super Rich Mascara. So waterproof, tears won't make it streak. Rain won't make it run. So waterproof, hardly anything can bother these great-looking lashes. Super Rich Mascara goes on thick and beautiful, neat and quick. Stays on looking beautiful no matter what. No smudge, no smear, no streak. Totally waterproof Super Rich Mascara by Revlon. Beautiful.
Highlights from the Minnesota State Fair 1979. It's been really a pleasure to meet the tens of thousands of people that have been entertained here on this stage. Right, Warren?
Absolutely, Mel. We've had a beautiful week out here. Now we're getting all set to look forward to the the Labor Day telethon, and we'll all be there. In the meantime, I know, Nancy, you want to give some special credits to our colleagues out here.
I do. It's been nice to meet all of you. This is Mel Jass, Warren Martin. My name is Nancy Nelson. All the people who made this possible and work with us. Ron Geiselhardt, our producer-director, Frank Stagowitz, our floor director, Don Medelstad, Jim Hill, Dave Nielsen on camera, Cliff Benson on camera one, Pat Chenard, Mike Young, Dennis Jacobs, Mike Lundberg, Randy Pierce on audio, Harvey Carlson, Ray Haig, Dale Harris, Hans Versdahl, Deborah Fisher, and Jerry Hammer from the fair.